First witness now under examination at the long-anticipated second murder trial of Karen Read. As we give you this live look inside the courtroom there, this sensational case riveting the nation and drawing big media attention. Read is accused of driving over her Boston police officer boyfriend and leaving him to die in a snowstorm in 2022. The defense claims someone else killed him during a night of heavy drinking with cop friends, saying Read was framed by law enforcement. Her first murder trial ended in a hung jury last summer. So let's get out to Caitlin Becker live outside of the courthouse near Boston. So Caitlin, how did opening statements play out in this now second trial?
They were pretty powerful, Nichole. Generally speaking and objectively speaking, I think the defense gave a stronger opening statement. It was more articulate. It was better paced. It was a bit more powerful. It seemed a little more polished than the prosecution's opening statement. And the prosecutor who gave the opening statement is not the same one during this retrial as we had the first time around. A special prosecutor, Hank Brennan, was brought in specifically for this. But there were some really powerful moments on both sides. Specifically for prosecutors, he really wanted to convince the jury and planned on playing bits and pieces of things that Karen has said over the last year. But he started off by telling the jury that they were going to hear Karen basically admitting that she hit John O'Keefe with her car. Take a listen.
At Miss Read, and he said, "What happened?" And you'll hear her words through firefighter Nuttall. She said, "I hit him, I hit him, I hit him."
She was saying all those things. Did a plow hit him? Could I have hit him? Did I hit him? She was saying that to herself and to other people. And the Commonwealth, very obviously, will try to seize on that panic and twist this into some admission. But here's the actual truth. That's not a confession. Could I have hit him? Did I hit him? Could a plow have hit him? That's a person trying to make sense of an unexplainable circumstance, a natural concern of a bereaved significant other.
So that second attorney there is the defense attorney. So you're hearing exactly how the defense team was kind of going back point by point and trying to balance out what prosecutors said. And you kind of get an idea of what the tone and the tenor were, the delivery of that first soundbite to the delivery of the second one. And you kind of illustrates my point that the prosecution just wasn't as strong on openings there. But they really did try to paint the picture of Karen Read as a sort of a drunk party girl that night out with her friends who turned into an angry drunk later that night, who hit John O'Keefe with her car, and that his cell phone information, his cell phone data would really go to show that. It would show exactly where they were on Waze, when he got to the house, and when he stopped moving. And they're going to compare that with the black box information from her Lexus and try to say that he stopped moving at the exact same time that her Lexus pulled out. And so that had to have been the point of impact. But the defense kind of just went bit by bit, giving pretty reasonable explanations for why all of that can be. Because, of course, they're trying to paint reasonable doubt into the minds of the jurors there. But it doesn't matter how powerful your opening statement is. If they can't back that up throughout the testimony, it's going to be a moot point at the end. So, yes, they had a powerful opening statement, but they're going to need all of the testimony, the cross-examination, and the witnesses that they put up to be able to back up everything that they said. We have that first witness on the stand right now. That's Timothy Nuttall. He was the paramedic who was first on scene the day that John O'Keefe's body was found in the yard. And that is a different first witness than we saw at the last trial. So definitely some contrast there from the last time around, Nichole.
So, Caitlin, we know security is tight. We know people feel very strongly about this case. Are the throngs of the Free Karen Read supporters out there again this time around?
They absolutely are, Nichole. You're getting these Free Karen Read supporters who are always wearing pink, so you know exactly who they are when you see them. But you're also getting some counter-protesters, people who are here for John O'Keefe, saying that Karen Read did it and there is no conspiracy, which is what her team claims. Now, you don't see them behind me right now, which is where they were the last time around, and that's because there are these new buffer zones that were imposed by the judge here, really upsetting the Free Karen Read people who are actually suing the judge for putting those buffer zones in, saying that it infringed upon their rights. But the police out here are taking it very seriously. There was an arrest earlier this morning of someone who is a supporter breaching that buffer zone. Now, we don't know exactly where they're at right now because they did ask for medical attention and an ambulance did come to the scene earlier today. So where they're at in the process, we don't know. And we reached out to the Massachusetts State Police, who made the arrest and have not heard back yet.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.